another thing also, I've actually spoken about this already, but I'm not sure. Oh, I've got the footage. I just have to look it up. But what happened? 1 year after I left Sega World, a year after I left Sega World, and when I was at the Mercure Hotel at Central as a houseman, I don't recommend that job. Now, 1 year from the time that I left Sega World, yes, I would become addicted to Yahoo Chat. And it was a year later I became addicted to Yahoo Chat. Because I was at the Mercure Hotel at the time. I was in the lounge room one night. I enjoyed watching movies. This is roughly about September of 1999. I was in the lounge room one night watching a late night movie, as I would enjoy doing. My sister was on the front veranda on the computer, and she was this particular night she said, "Pat, come look what I'm doing." I'm in the Yahoo Chat. I said, the what? She said, "Yahoo Chat." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she said, "I'm in Yahoo Chat. You have to see this." And I'm like, look, I'm watching a movie. I was focused on I was watching a movie, and I think it was The Golden Years of Hollywood or something I was watching. And she must have asked me about 7 times in the space of 40 minutes. She wouldn't let up on it. So about every 5 minutes she's like, "Pat, I want to show you Yahoo Chat." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Yahoo Chat, I want to show you. Just come over here for 5 minutes. I just want to show it to you." And I'm like, so eventually I said, "All right, I'm going to come out there for 5 minutes. Then after that, I'm coming back to my movie." She's like, "Yeah, okay. So I went out to the veranda, which was just there. Went out to the veranda, and she said, "Now, see," well, I had no clue. I didn't really use the computer that much. I was more interested in watching movies. Anyway, so I ran out of memory before. I had to make sure this is still going. It is. All right. Okay. And so what happened was, so I said, "Well, what is this?" And she said, "Look, see there?" And I wasn't. She said, "This is a chat room." And she was talking to people in the chat room. And I'm watching this for a few minutes. I'm not understanding it. I'm not getting it. And she says, "Do you want to have it?" I'm like, "Sure, okay." I sat down, and she said, "This is my username," like her username. And I'm like, "Okay, well, what's happening?" She said, a few minutes had gone by. She said, "Well, all these people in there are talking. Well, what are they doing?" She said, "They're talking." And so it took me a few minutes to grasp this. And then I said, "Do you talk to them?" She's like, "Yes, I can. I can just type something in here and interact." So a few more minutes went by, and I clued into it. I clued into what was going on. I said, "Oh, okay, I think I get it now. I think I understand." So everyone's just talking away. And she says, "You know what? What happened was," she said, "I'm going to leave you alone." Like, she was, okay, so it's vague now. I mean, this is a long time ago. She was with me for a bit, and then she said, "All right, I'll leave you with it. I'm going to get up in the morning. I'll leave you with it. Have fun." So, and she left me on the veranda. My sister left me on the veranda with the, and I'm in the chat room, and I've got the hang of it now. I've worked out what's going on, and I said a few things in the chat area, and some people responded to me. And then at some point, about 1 hour in, I'm like, I get what's going on here. I'm understanding this. I'm grasping the concept. I've clued into it, and understood what was going on. And I believe that night I didn't get to bed until about 2 a.m. and I had work in the morning. Didn't watch the rest of the movie. Was in the chat till 2 a.m. Came home, went to work the next day. Came home from work the next night. Went straight to the computer. Used my sister's ID to go onto Yahoo Messenger, and then chat from there. It took a little bit to work it out. Within 2 days, within the space of 3 days, I was addicted to Yahoo Chat. Went into all the different rooms. There was a New York room, there was a Los Angeles room. I was fond of the America rooms, but I also spent time in the Australian rooms. Spoke to Americans, I spoke to Australians. It was was particularly fond of, and all the different states of America had rooms as well. Like there was a Texas room, and there was all sorts of rooms. Okay, so I've grabbed some images of Yahoo Messenger from back in the good old days of the old Yahoo chat rooms, and I tell you that so it was from 1999 onwards. 1999 through to 2003 was the peak period, and I had my favourite American friends, and then by 2008 Yahoo had become corrupt, as in there were many bots that were bots that were being ruling the chat rooms by that point, and then it phased out. It phased out a few years after that, and then I think Yahoo Messenger became no longer in 2016. But by that time, everything had just phased out years prior at that point. But seeing these images today, it's a trip down memory lane. I feel like I'm back in 1999, 2000. I tell you. But I became addicted, totally addicted to it, and my sister said, "So how are you enjoying it? How are you enjoying the town?" I'm like, "Oh, it's terrific, it's great." She said, "Can I be?" I'm like, "I wanted it all to myself." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And then about a week later, my sister said, "I kind of regret showing you now, because I became addicted to it very quickly, and was starting to spend a great deal of time in the rooms, interacting with people. Already met a few people. I met a few people and was interacting with them. And you had the main area of the chat room, and you had private messenger. And I was already very into it, and had worked out what was going on. And I was interacting with people and just sort of typing. Don't know if there was voice then. There may have been voice, because there may have been microphone then. I'm fairly certain there was. And I became so into it, so addicted to it, that to the point where there were some weekends that I would not go out anymore in the town of Sydney. I'd prefer to stay at home and be in Yahoo Chat. And then I'd get a six-pack of beer and drink that. So ended up around about, it was late. I was about to say 2009. It was late 1999. Late 1999. I would drink all night in Yahoo Chat, turn up either half drunk, hungover, or still drunk to work at the Mercure Hotel. And the boss said, "I get it. You're young. You want to party. You want to be a bit wilder. Can you?" And, my boss was not a mainstream boss. She was a very alternative boss. Fortunately for me, she was very alternative. And she said, "At least just get here on time. Just get here on time." And then it got to. I left the Mercure Hotel late 1999. And in 2000, I decided that I was less interested in, I didn't have much of an appetite for work, and that I just wanted to be in Yahoo. Well, I was more interested in spending time in Yahoo Chat. So mid 1999, around about July, I discovered Yahoo Chat. And it was interesting because the year before that, I had no clue what it was. That were the good old days. Oh, they were good. Preferring to stay home being Yahoo Chat rather than go out in the town of Sydney on at least 80% of weekends. Also, yeah. Oh, yes. I remember those days. Yes, indeed, yes. Oh, and also, within 24 hours of discovering the Yahoo Chat rooms, my sister said, "I don't want you using my ID. You can't use my ID. You're going to make your own email address now." I'm like, "My what?" She said, "Email address." My sister discovered all this before I did, but she spent 90% less time in those rooms than I did. It was a very casual indulgence for her. So within 24 hours, my sister said, I don't really want you using my username." She let me use it for a couple of days, and she said, "You've got to get your own." And so I made an email address, got my username, and up and running. And I think she regretted showing me. Yeah, and so I did that. And Yes, yes, yes. I went from watching used to enjoy, because I would really enjoy watching movies at home and that, and I went from watching movies to Yahoo Chat addiction, and there was no in between. It was get home from work, and you know, get up, get to bed at 3 in the morning and wake up a few hours later, go to work. Yes. In regard of 1999, in regard of Yahoo Chat, a year after I left, actually less than a year after I left Seaworld, in July of 1999, less than a year after leaving Seaworld, I would discover Yahoo Chat. I remember my sister was on the front veranda next to the lounge room, and she was on the computer, and I didn't really use the computer that much in those days. I was more preoccupied with watching movies. One evening, my sister's on the computer, and she says to me, "Pat, come out here, I want to show you something." And I said, "What?" She's like, "I just want to show you something." She said, "I want to show you Yahoo Chat." I'm like, "What? Yahoo? What?" She's Yahoo Chat. I'm like, "What's Yahoo Chat?" She said, "I want to show it to you." July 1999. My sister must have asked me about 7 or 8 times, and I kept saying, I said, "I'm not interested." She said, just come in here, 5 minutes, I want to show you Yahoo Chat. So eventually, after she had asked me a number of times, I said, "Look, I'll come out, look, literally it's 10 feet of space between the lounge chair and the front veranda." She said, "Just come over, I want to show it." So I said, "Look, I'll come over there for 5 minutes." And he said, "Yeah, just come over. So I went over to the computer, and she had it up on the computer screen, and she had the I didn't understand any of it, and she said, "Look, I know Yahoo Chat room." I said, "But I didn't know what was going on." And she said, "Well, there's people in there, and they're interacting, they're speaking." And she said, "I've got my username, and I'm in this room with my username, and I'm interacting with other people." I'm like, "Okay." And she said, "You can do it too." I'm like, "Do what?" She said, "Interact with them." I'm like, "How? What?" And so what happened was, I sat with her for a while she showed me what she was doing. She would type out a sentence, she would press enter, and it would go into the chat area. And then about 10 minutes went by, and I kind of figured out what was going on. And it was partly exciting. I felt a bit excited by the time. And this light is very low. Damn. Oh. Huh. And so what happened was, I don't know, half an hour went by, figured out what was going on. She was interacting with other people in the Yahoo Chat room. And then what happened was, she said, "Look," she said, "I'm going to work tomorrow. I'll go in the early morning. I'll leave you with it. I'll leave you to it." I'm like, "Okay." She said, "Look, have a go at it. Look, interact, have a go. It's fun." And so she left me to it, and I have a feeling that I have to stop this here because that light is low. Off. You have to leave this here. The light is low. Battery's about to. It is low. Damn. Alright. I'm going to go upstairs and recharge. Okay, much better. I was just upstairs recharging. I remember where I was at, and I got straight back up because I got the light. I've got the light. There we go. So I was sitting with my sister. She's interacting within the chat room. I said, "What are they talking about?" And she said, "Anything." I said, and so I was watching her interact with. I was watching what was going on in the chat room. And then after a while, my sister, she said, "You have a go." I said, "What do I say?" She just said, "Well, hi, just say something." So I said something, and then someone reacted to me. And then and I noticed a few people in the room had opinions about certain things I was saying. So I attempted to relate to them. I was like, and they responded to me. Yeah, I started to get the hang of this. And then so my sister, she said, "Okay," she said, "Well, I'm going to get up early in the morning, I'm going to bed, I'll leave you with it, have fun, And so she left me with it. She said, you can just use my username. And so I interacted with the room. I was, two things happened. Well, actually, within 24 hours, I was completely addicted, hook, line, and sinker. I was in totally, completely in. And then a few days later, my sister said, "I don't want to use my username anymore." She didn't say it in a nasty way. She said, "I don't want to use it. Yeah, you got to get your username now. Got to make them an email." I said, "Oh, what?" I still didn't know what an email was. So a few days later, I made a Yahoo account, got my username, and I started going into Yahoo Chat regularly. I was in there. What I would do is I would go to work, and while I was at work, all I could think about was getting home and getting into Yahoo Chat, and that's all that's all that I would think about. And a couple of things happened. I learned I couldn't type. I was typing with one hand. Within a fortnight of discovering Yahoo Chat and being in the chat rooms and typing, I could type. So Yahoo Chat taught me how to type, and I could type fluently within a fortnight. Okay, actually, so I said a fortnight. I think it was about 3 to 4 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks in the Yahoo Chat rooms, I could type fluently. Because before that I was typing with one finger, like literally a finger, and then within 4 weeks I was typing fluently. And I remember within a few weeks, but I figured out within hours. I figured out what was going on, and then within a day I totally figured out how it worked. And my sister said, "Oh, how are you?" She said, "Oh, how are you going?" I said, "Oh, good, good." And then she said, a few days later, about a week later, she said, "How's it going?" I said, "Great, terrific." And she said, "Can I have a?" I didn't want to let anyone else use the computer. And she said, "Oh, can I have it on the computer?" I said, "Oh." She's like, "Oh, okay, right." Because I got. And she's like, "Right, okay." And so I let her on. She said, "I need to use the computer," because before she never had to ask, because I wasn't on it. I'd be watching TV, listening to music. Be in my room listening to music, or at home watching TV or whatnot. I think I had a TV in my room at that point. I did. Oh yeah, by '98 I did. Yeah, but yes. Oh, that's right. It was a wonderful Yahoo Chat. Was a wonderful world, and not just expressing. Everyone expressed their opinion, but I conversed with people. I had long conversations. Went for hours, and people would be on the microphone talking about different things. I mean, people expressed their opinions, but conversed and talked about things and had long conversations with people. I think that's when my personality expanded. I think that's where I really liberated. That's where I all sorts of different things. I mean, some people be on the microphone. Some people be on the microphone for hours. You just converse on the microphone while typing in a chat area. It's a big, wonderful, fascinating, interesting world. People from all different walks of life. And I used to greatly enjoy being in the America rooms, and that was good. That was good. Yes, and yeah, yes. They were the good old days, weren't they? Golden era. Oh, that's right. Yes, I just said that the Yahoo chat rooms were shut down around 2012. 2012, Messenger was expired 2015, I think 2016. Yes, that's right. But really, 2007 onwards, those all the butts came in. Back to what I was saying. And then I learned to express my opinion about things. I was expressing my opinion before that, but then I really learned to express my opinion because, I'd get along with people, and other people I wouldn't get along with. Everyone expressed their opinion to the extreme, and I was no exception. I learned to express my opinion, and I expressed it often. And in fact, I think my personality became liberated. I expanded. You could say whatever you wanted in those rooms, and I expressed my opinion often, and I expressed it fully. And I did not hold back. Once I got there, it didn't take long to figure it out, and I met some. There was all kinds of people in those rooms, all kinds, and expressed my opinion about things often. And I met some Americans who became my favourite Americans. Well, I didn't really know any Americans before that, but I became close to a few Americans and met a lot of people. And to the extent where I felt that staying home and being on Yahoo Chat was far more interesting than going out in the town of Sydney. Going out in the town of Sydney, I just prefer to stay home sometimes, or a lot. I prefer to stay home a lot, or I'd be out in the town of Sydney, and then I would think, I want to get home to Yahoo Chat. So I'd get home, get a messenger, get on Yahoo Chat. And it kind of didn't work, and well, in 2000 I kind of didn't didn't really work. I mean, didn't really work. And geez, that would have been interesting if I had discovered Yahoo Chat when I was still at Sega. No, but that wouldn't have been good. It would have been that wouldn't have been so great. Yahoo Chat. Oh, 2010. The Yahoo Chat rooms closed down around. Oh, it was actually around 2008. I think the rooms closed. Yahoo Messenger was shut down at around 2010, I believe, somewhere around there, 2008, 2010. And the prime time to be in those rooms, prime time, 1999 through 2003, that was the peak period to be in those rooms. And I expressed my opinion about everything. I met a lot of different people. Geez, sometimes I'd spend, I could have spent anywhere between 5 and 10 hours a day in those rooms. And with sometimes being sober and a lot of the time not being sober. And did that. They were interesting times. It was the old world. It was a golden era. Certainly was a golden era. And after 2003, I would end up spending 50% less time in the Yahoo Chat rooms. Yeah, 2003 onwards, I'd spend 50% less time in them. And then about 2005 onwards, I had discovered Yahoo Canasta, and I became addicted to that. That was a bad addiction. And I finally reached the top score. They had particular levels. It took me quite a while to reach the top level. Once I reached the top level, I never played again. It was a golden era. Long gone now. All this time, is that right? Huh. All this time. So yes. Okay. So the July 1999, discovered Yahoo Chat. Ring-a-ding-ding.